Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Friday, September 18th, and today in class, what we did was we learned how to blog. We learned about another online tool that the students will be able to use in order to communicate with me, communicate with each other, respond to prompts and questions asked here in class right at home digitally, as well as a way to submit work. So today I'm going to show you how we can use that tool. So right here from the Google Classroom, everything that I do always goes through our blog. So I've been adding the blog link to the Google Classroom if the students haven't memorized it yet. Or if they have, they simply should know that they go right to roytrumbull.blogspot.com. And that brings you to today's lesson. Now, everything that I'm going to show you, I've included the directions for. So on today, Friday, September 18th, you can see we did first activity. We did this thing called a 3-minute test. I don't need to show you that here. That worked out well in class. I'm going to skip ahead because I really want to focus on giving you guys directions about how to blog. Now, all of the directions for how to blog are right here. We put in our notebook today a username and password information sheet, so in the future, the students don't need to worry about trying to memorize it. We're going to be recording and writing down their usernames and passwords because there's going to be a lot of online tools this year. Now, here are all of the directions. Today, I taught the students how to log on to KidBlog, and I also taught the students how to create their first blog posts. So for you folks, virtual learners at home who had a hard time seeing it in today's lesson, I'm going to take you through a very brief tutorial on how do you guys use KidBlog. So right here from our classroom blog, at the very top, you guys know we have homework and links on the left-hand side and resources on the right. Underneath the links, those top 3 links, those are those 3 most important links. The third link down is ELA KidBlog. That's where you're going to go to get to the blog. So here, I click on that link, and the computer is going to take you to the login screen for KidBlog. The login screen is going to look like this, and you'll notice right now you cannot see any posts. We never post anything to the public. Everything is private. The only people that have access to KidBlog are the APW 6th graders and their teachers. So it's a very safe way for the students to engage digitally, communicating back and forth. To log in, the students will click on the login button. Here in the center, they never have to remember their login name. They simply need to scroll through. All the names are listed alphabetically by the child's first name and their last initial. So I would scroll through so I could log in. Right here would be my name, Roy T. You can see I have a teacher account as well, but I'm going to use my student one to show you. Okay? And then you would type in your password. All of the students' temporary passwords were set as their last name. Now, all of the passwords need to be at least 6 characters long. So, it's a temporary password, but if the child has a name that is shorter than 6 characters, like, let's say, a last name of Smith. Okay, so now that I fixed the technical difficulties and I have my smartboard working, back to the passwords. I have assigned each one of you a temporary password. So here's the deal. The password has to be at least 6 characters long. So if your last name, which is what I set all of your temporary passwords to, is your last name. If your last name is over 6 characters, you're great. All you have to do is type in your temporary password. In this case, my temporary password would be Trumbull. Once I type in my password, KidBlog will instruct you to reset your password, and you'll follow the steps on the screen to simply reset your password. Your password has to be at least 6 characters long. Now, for the temporary passwords, if you have a last name that was shorter than 6 characters, a name like Smith, okay, you only have 5 characters. So for a student like this, I temporarily set your password to be Smith, and I added the number 1 at the end. So if you have only 5 characters in your last name, you'll add a 1 to the end of your password, your temporary password. If you have a last name that has only 4 characters in your last name, a name like maybe Hull, you only have 4 characters in your name, so your temporary password, because it has to be 6 characters, will have a 1 and a 2. So it would be Hull 1, 2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign in to my account. You guys would sign into your accounts and then make sure that you set your password and that you write it down. Today I passed out a login sheet so that you guys can record your names, your usernames, and your passwords on that sheet. Throughout the year, you're going to have multiple usernames and passwords for different types of technology that the teachers are using with you, and I don't want you to forget your usernames and your passwords. So I'm going to take a second. I'm going to log in right now with my password. And when you log in and accepted, this is what it's going to look like. Today I taught the kids about the different views. This is the tile view, where all the posts are in these tiles. At the top, if you click on these options, you can have this view instead. So instead of the tiles, you can see the blog this way. You can see their header image, the name of the post, you can see the content of their post, and then you can also see the person who published it. No matter what view I use, if I want to look at the post, I would simply click on it. Now there's one other view, which is the list view. It's probably the least popular, but again, it allows you to put lots of posts on the page. I can see the title of the post, we can see the author of the post, the date, and then of course, if any comments were left. Whenever I do instruction in KidBlog, I tend to use this view. I think most of the students like this the best. All right. So here you can see all of the students' posts. Today, we learn how to choose our avatar. So in order to choose your avatar, you click up on your name, you would go down to Profile, and once you're in Profile, okay, here I can choose my avatar. The rule is on KidBlog, no pictures of your face, no pictures of any person. So ultimately the students will be able to upload and add pictures and files, but my rule is to keep everybody safe, no pictures. So to choose your avatar, you simply click on Choose Avatar. Over here, you have your avatars. There's over 5 pages. You could pick any avatar you want. So if I wanted the airplane, I would click on that, and then I would use this as my avatar. And now you can see here it is. To get back to our KidBlog page, go back to classes, hit Rebel Pride, and now here I am. I'm back on to KidBlog. Today we learned about how to create a new post and the kind of creativity that we can have within that. So to create a new post, the students know to click here on New Post. Once you click on New Post, you will notice that these buttons are grayed out. I cannot draft it, I cannot review it or publish it. Those aren't options until I give my post a title and until I put text in the body. Once I do that, those things will become available to me. So today we were practicing, so we had the students type a title. Every post needs a title. Whenever you're typing, you must use your capitals and your periods. So today, we titled our post, Practice Post. So I type right in the title box. Today I showed the students how to add a header. The header is the image that the kids are going to see when you're in the main page view. So to add a header, you click on the Add a Header image. On the left-hand side, right below avatars, you'll see we have headers. There's 11 pages of headers. I'll go to page, let's say to page 10, and I can pick. Now, Later on, the students will talk about how you can actually add a specific picture, a picture that you've taken, or a picture from the internet. But for now, KidBlog has so many pictures that you guys can choose from. I'll choose that one as my header image, and then I hit insert. Once I've done that, now my post has a header and it has a title. You notice I still can't use draft, review, or publish because there's no body, there's nothing in there, there's no content. This is the text box where the students will create their content. Over the weekend, I've asked them to answer a writing prompt from the blog. So the kids would create their answer right here. This is the space. And from this, once I have text in here, and I have a period, you'll now notice that these buttons have been activated. I can now, with my post, I can save it as a draft, I can submit it for review, which we never do, or I can publish it to my classmates. Before I go ahead and do that, the last thing we learned about today was about how to really use the creative tools on KidBlog. Okay. I can take my text and I can highlight it. And now I can play around with my text color. Let's make it green. I can play around with the size of my text. I can bold things. I can italicize or underline. I can get creative with my text. And I do allow the students to get creative as long as it's not an assignment like a longer writing piece. When we're doing formal writing pieces, we use KidBlog. I will set some parameters for the students about what size or font that they could use. But when we're doing posts for classwork, I really allow them to be creative. As long as they're using capitals and periods, they can make their writing look creative. If I'm struggling to read it because they've made it too small or a color that doesn't work, I'll let them know. But now, here I have my post. In order to be even more creative with it, we can see the background is green, there's a pattern. I can scroll down and I'm allowed to play around with those things. So the students could change the background color. They could change the background texture to be something that they like here. So maybe I pick that one. We can even change the font of our title. Our title right now, this is the font. And on here, we can change the title font to something different. We could even change the font that's in our post. So we could change this font by using these features. Once I'm ready and my post is done, I'm now ready to publish it. So I can hit publish, and I can publish it to my class, or I can hit draft, and that saves it in my portfolio. So if the students are working and they're not done, they can always save it as a draft. So let me show you. I hit draft, and it will tell me in a moment that it is saved as a draft. So now, the rest of the class, they can't see this post. The only person that can see it is the teacher, me, and the student. So here, you'll notice that I can see it because I signed into my teacher account, but it says draft right here. Now, if I wanted to get back to my post, the best way to do that is to click on my name and go to my portfolio. Your portfolio is where all of your work, your published work, and your drafts go. So if I was to go to my portfolio, now I see the things that are in my folder. Okay? And here I can see that post I was just working on. It's saved here as a draft. The other students can't see it, only I can. And now I can click on it, and here, there's that post that we were working on. I can come up here, you'll see its status, and I want to continue working on it, so I just hit edit. And just like I was before, I can now add, I can edit, I can do whatever I need to this post. Alright, so now I've edited the post, I've added to it. Now I'm ready to publish it, and I want to publish it always to our classmates. So here, I'm going to hit publish. You'll see these options. Unless I tell the students to specifically publish just to me. We always publish to our classmates, because one of the things that I want the students to get used to doing is reading other students' posts and commenting and providing feedback so that the students are learning how to digitally communicate back and forth with their peers. So we publish to our classmates. I hit publish. You'll see that it does say post is published. And now I can go back to Roy's portfolio, and here I want to get all the way back to KidBlog. So I can click right here. I can get myself, back to KidBlog. And now my post would be visible. You can see that it's visible to all class members. At any point, students could click on my post, they could read it, and now they can leave comments to each other. All right, this is a tool that we're going to use a lot, especially for the virtual learners. As I post questions about the books that we're reading, this is going to be a great place for the virtual learners specifically to engage in a kind of academic dialogue with me, but also with their classmates, which is something that unfortunately is missing when we have the virtual learning. The students are much more on their own. This is another tool which can connect them digitally. I do monitor this tool, of course. Students are asked to be appropriate, and if it's known or seen that something inappropriate appears on the platform, I address that as promptly and as quickly as I can. I'm able to lock that account until I'm able to meet with that student and give them the expectations for what they need to be doing. I always ask that students are writing in capitals, periods. We need to follow the rules of writing. And the responsibility, it falls greatly on the students' shoulders this year because so much of the work is being done in a way where they're not in the presence of a teacher. Where when students are working at home, they need to be mindful that this is a classroom, even though I'm sitting at home on my bed or on my couch or at the kitchen table. This is school. I need to make sure that I am performing as such. So I'm writing in a way that is academic, that it's not text messaging. I share with the students all the time that when I'm on social media or I'm text messaging, I might not follow all the rules of writing, but this is school, and as such, we need to always be writing in a way that is academic and in a way that shows we know what the rules of writing are. We use capitals, we use punctuation, we write incomplete sentences. I'm really excited about using this tool with your students here in school. If you have any questions, you can put them right onto our Google Classroom. Below it, I will be posting this video to the Google Classroom as well as to our YouTube channel. So guys, good luck. If you have any struggles with KidBlog, please make sure that I know about them, especially the students who are at home doing this on their own. We're going to come back, so don't worry. Be patient with yourself. If you are struggling right now, at some point I will be able to help you. It is a great tool, and it is a tool that we will be using quite often, especially this year. So guys, have a great weekend. Good luck to you on KidBlog. I'm interested in seeing your responses as they come up. And as a last reminder, I want to make sure that everybody knows. So the homework was to pick one of the prompts and create your answer to that prompt. And so just as a reminder, the homework is for you guys to use KidBlog and answer one of the writing prompts. There are 2 prompts. All you have to do is pick one. They're right on the blog. So back to what I was saying, the students do have to use KidBlog. They're going to answer one of the writing prompts. There are 2 of them. And right on today's lesson, the students can scroll down to get to those prompts. So they can scroll past the 3-minute test. And here, all the directions that I just gave you now are right on the blog. Okay, so how to blog. Here are all the directions for logging in and changing your password. And then here we have all of the directions for how to create your first blog post. The very bottom, here are your prompts. So you've got your 2 prompts. Prompt 1, what does it mean to be a good friend? explain in detail. And prompt 2, how should you treat people who are different from you? Explain your thinking. Next week, we're going to begin reading the book Freak the Mighty, and the themes of friendship and the themes of tolerance and intolerance are going to be common throughout this book. We're going to be spending a lot of time talking about these themes, and so I want to get the kids thinking about them over the weekend before we start our first novel. So they don't need to do both, they just need to pick one. So listen, you guys have a great weekend. I look forward to seeing a whole new batch of students again on A-Day on Monday. I'm excited to finally start our first novel, and it's the official beginning of Unit 1 on Monday. So enjoy your weekend. Bye, guys. I'll see you on Monday.